Welcome back to FasTrax Cars. I'm Kevin. I've got Steve here with an unbelievable 1956 Porsche Speedster. Steve, welcome to my show.
Hi.
Tell me a bit about your car.
Well, I built a 1956 Porsche replica, and I made it all electric.
Which is unique.
In my garage during COVID.
What was your inspiration to building this car as an electric car? Was it what was the idea behind it?
So I did some reading, and all the complaints about the Speedster were you smell like gas after you drive it, which isn't always bad. I mean, I'm a gearhead too,
Yeah.
But it's the exhaust when you stop, the gas when you accelerate, tanks up front, and then the car being super underpowered. Now you can fix one of those things by putting a better motor in, but you can't really fix the location of the gas tank. And I figure the way things are going, if I'm going to build a car I'm going to drive for the next 20 years, I'm thinking electric cars aren't going away. So I decided to make it electric. I kind of had the idea in about 2002 to do it, but the tech wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And COVID seemed like the right time to do it. Lots of time, lots of being trapped in homes.
Yes.
And So.
Excellent. So let's go through a little bit. You've done a lot of work on this car. I mean, I'm very impressed. I've stood here looking at it. You weren't here. I was taking videos of it and looking around. Let's go through it piece by piece. What did you start with? Obviously, it's a kid car.
Yes. Yeah. So I started with a 1969 Volkswagen Beetle chassis. It's an interesting story. The chassis I've been looking for a Volkswagen Pan for probably 10 years on Kijiji and now Facebook Marketplace, and some of the prices are all over the board. And a guy posted these blurry pictures that looked like something from a horror movie, like a slasher film, where it was like just stills, and it said Volkswagen parts for sale, $500. So I called him up, and he sounded like he was having problems, and he said call back tomorrow. So I called him back tomorrow, met up with him. Ended up being that his project car that he wanted to build could not continue because he had a really bad stroke. So I made him a promise that I was going to build my dream car using his dream car pan, and he sold it to me for $500, which was a steal of a deal. And I did what I said. I used it as my basis for the car, and had to cut it in half, and felt really bad about cutting it in half. A 1969 non-rusty chassis, and the rest is pretty much history. Other than the fact that I ordered a body kit over COVID, which shipping stuff during COVID was always a challenge.
Yeah.
And then all the little parts. If anyone tells you that a kit car is a kit, they're lying. They're a whole bunch of parts put together by one company, and that doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's you buy what you need, and you don't know the quality until it shows up, and you can't ask anybody for a car like this because they're kind of rare.
Of course.
At least in Alberta.
Yeah.
So I have lots of spare cheap parts, and I put all the good ones on the car.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I wasted a little bit of money there, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with the results. This is its first car show. This is the furthest I've been away from its, we'll call it its birthplace in Edmonton. And it made it here, and I hope it makes it home.
So, I'm sure it will. Now, when you put electric in here, obviously it's a quiet car.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're going to do something about the sound.
Yeah. I bought a sound racer module from Sweden, and I'm building custom little orbs that have speakers in them with little mufflers on them that I'm going to hide in the back wheel wells to simulate the sound. And I'm going to tie that into the TAC, basically the pulse converter that's converting CAN bus to pulse. Yeah. I'm gonna make that make it sound like a regular car, and I'm gonna try and get some people that are on the 356 forums to send me some sounds, so I can build those sounds. So
sample them.
Yeah, so it'll sound like the original car, but then I'll probably also make it sound like a V12, something awesome, and scare people. Yeah,
put a switcher in there, just change it between.
I can, yeah. And so I wanted to have it. I want to have it make sound so I don't accidentally, end up in if you miss a gear and you're revving high, it's so quiet you can't tell, and then you get into a weird situation, right? So more of a safety thing from a shifting, because it is a 4-speed. I only use the first gear to get like on ramps, on trailers, and into my garage. You basically drive it in third all the time, unless you're on the highway. You drive it in fourth.
Yeah.
And if you're in rush hour, you put in second and turn regen on, drive with one pedal.
Right.
So it works kind of like a Tesla with a little bit more car-like feel instead of computer-like feel.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to have the 50s retro look. So when you turn on, when you put the stereo away and everything, it looks like it kind of, if there was electric cars in the 50s, this is how I would have imagined them showing.
Yeah.
They would put lots of wood, they put lots of chrome, they would do a lot of things that you wouldn't see in today's cars.
Yeah.
And I wanted to incorporate that into this. If you plus, I mean, my license plate says time travel, so if ever one day it ever could happen, I'll take this back. Cause
you're taking it back.
Yeah, sure, why not? Because then I mean, they'll just be like, wow, that's a nice color, but they will be like, it's like every other British car.
Yeah. Let's talk about the color. This color is incredible. Obviously, multiple layers of paint. It's not just one color.
Yeah.
And I heard that you did your own paint.
Yeah, I did all the paint myself. I did the whole car except for the seats. That's what I like to say. There are cars that I had help with, but I had to redo them because they weren't quite right. But don't tell the upholstery guy that I redid his work. Because, but you ask someone to do something.
Yeah.
And you hope it's your vision, but sometimes you can't get your vision out. Like you say, I want it to look like this, and then they try, and they're like, do you mean like this? And they're like, oh, that's so not on the mark.
Yeah.
But anyways, it had to be right. So I make it right. But yeah, I did the paint myself. My wife helped me. She held the air hose while I walked around the car, tried not to hit the car.
Yeah.
We have pictures on Instagram with us wearing gas masks or respirators while we're painting the car. We had lots of fun. My wife supported me the whole time through this build, which is unusual, I think, in the car community.
Yeah.
She lets me, I don't know, she just got tired of me during COVID. Go in the garage, work on your car. I don't know.
Go away.
But my kids are all excited. They don't want to get rides to school in it. And I'm like, it's a classic car. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no.
So, it's just fun just for cruising, going around summer. That was the main intent. I wanted a nice, fun car to work on in a project, incorporate some of my skills with computer stuff, as well as, engineering and woodwork, as well as my new love of painting and polishing cars, apparently.
What color is that?
That is Brandy Wine by House of Colors. It's a factory pack over a Brandy Wine concentrate with an effects pack of platinum over jet black. 4 coats of clear on that. Well, 3.5. I probably sanded off 1 at least. And then and it's a fiberglass body.
Yeah. Brakes wise?
Brakes. It's got MP disc brakes all around. So it's and they're the wide 5. So if I pull the hubcaps off, it will look just like the original car.
Good. Yeah.
It's IRS back end, so independent rear suspension, ball joint front end, because the 69 Beetle had that.
Yeah.
I think 68, 69 Type 1 had that. I did the 911 off-road modification to the pan, which means you put like a 1-inch square tube in the channel, and you bolt through that. That's how when they do those off-roaded 911s, they do that modification to the pan. I have 2.5-inch drop spindles in the front. That was a challenge because the battery box had to come up higher.
Mm-hmm.
I got electric power steering. I got that out of a wrecker from 2009 Nissan Versa. So electric power steering motor. So it's the mechanism's underneath, but this is the Nissan Versa. So the steering column comes through here. That would normally be and then it comes down to the TRW steering box. And I'm writing a CAN bus module so I can control it, so it will give me more assist while I'm going at a slower speed.
Yep.
But right now it's default assist. It works pretty well, and it's got a TRW steering box, so I got rid of about 3 inches of play left to right on the steering wheel. It still tracks pretty good, and front and back sway bars and MP coilovers front and back to handle the weight. Plus I left the torsion bars in place So I basically have 2 suspensions.
Excellent.
So
very, very cool.
And it drives like a Cadillac.
Yeah.
And this is where I fill my brake fluid because you got battery sitting on top of the brake reservoir. It's hard to change. Your 12-volt battery to run everything regular. If I get into a situation where I need to plug in my car into a Tesla, and if you want to come around the back here. So if I was charging, and let's say I'm at a Tesla station, I can plop that in charge. I just go like this, and that's how you would charge. And then this gives you the other side of that, right, which is the Tesla side, right?
Yep.
So I'm ready for the future, I guess, with that. But yeah, it hides away. The whole idea was to make it as minimalistic as possible, but still have all the modern amenities and make it clean like a classic sports car. I'm trying. I don't know if anyone's done this. I'm sure they have, but I don't know if anyone's made, at least in Canada, has made an electric hot rod, like one where it's an electric show car. Like maybe they have one.
I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah, so I thought, you know what, if you're gonna do it, might as well do it now. I mean, it doesn't take. It takes just as much time to make it look bad as to make it look good. So I mean, we see that with the rat rods. They look so good bad.
Yeah, so true. And that runs to a backup camera.
Yeah. So you have a backup camera. I couldn't get the little scrolly lines to give me my directional stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently you need a sensor for that. Maybe that's next. Maybe that's winter project. I don't know.
Could be, yeah.
So backup camera. It has and a couple things I built in. I needed to have side markers to pass out of province inspection, so I created these. These actually light up and have a. They make a little line thing on there.
Very cool.
Kind of neat, like a little.
Yeah.
It's hard to see them in the sun, but
I can see them.
I got side markers, so that's my signal lights when I'm on. Plus, it lets me. I can see them from the other side too, so kind of like a Cadillac. Hey, your high beams are on kind of thing. Everything's LED lights on the whole vehicle.
Yeah.
So pretty good for power conservation. It's got Tesla modules for batteries out of a Model S. I went down to EV West and picked those up and drove them back during COVID, which was an exciting time. And an awesome stereo. Like the sound, it's all it's all Focal stereo speakers, 3 ways, and I have a Kenwood sub, and I have a JBL 8-channel DSP in there. So, and it's all tuned for the driver where I sit. So I measured all the distances of the speakers, calibrated all that, and it sounds amazing. Like, I mean, for a convertible, normally convertibles sound terrible.
Yeah.
It sounds good inside the car, and there's also butt kickers in the seats. So if I don't want to have lots of boomy bass outside the car, I can still have boomy bass in the seat. The seat shakes.
Excellent.
So that's pretty hard to do when your seats are so small.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Let's. Do you mind starting the car up? We'll get a sound of it.
Sure. It sounds like a land speeder from Star Wars.
And then the stereo you're saying it drops down. How does that work?
So it's I turn the car as if I'm going to start it. And so then I can pull up different apps. So I got my time circuits. So I can. What do we got? And of course, if I did put it in reverse, I get my backup camera. If I want to listen to the music and I don't want to have my screen down, it will continue to play while it's put away.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so.
You thought of everything.
Almost. Lots of time, right?
Well, thank you so much for showing me your car. I appreciate it. It's an absolutely stunning car. More than I ever could have expected. So congratulations on building such a beautiful car.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great interview.